Welcome back to the dumbest bill in America. We have with us, of course, Delegate Brian Chisholm. Welcome back, Brian.
Great to be here.
So, folks, get this. Lawrence Jones of Fox News just interviewed Governor Wes Moore. It was a long interview. It was like 10 minutes long. We have a clip from this interview because Lawrence Jones, get this, asked Governor Wes Moore, well, since the President of the United States is calling in the National Guard in Washington, D.C. to deal with out-of-control crime, and in particular juvenile crime, Brian, Governor Wes Moore, why don't you do the same thing in Baltimore? We have this clip, and here it is.
No one needs to explain to me the pain that is taking place in so many communities, urban, rural, and suburban, who are being besieged by this issue of gun violence, who's being besieged by this issue of chronically and generationally not feeling safe inside of your neighborhoods. And it's the reason that we have made it our top priority to make sure that people are feeling safe. But I can tell you right now, what people want more than anything in those communities is they don't want performative, they want performance. Right? They're not looking for someone to walk around with military fatigues and a big gun. They're looking for someone who actually understands how to make people feel safe and how to make people actually safe in their communities. Our National Guards are not trained for this. I'm very specific about my role as Commander-in-Chief of the Maryland National Guard, and we know the missions that they are trained for, and municipal policing is not one of them.
So, Brian, there's Governor Wes Moore talking to Lawrence Jones of Fox News on Fox and Friends in the morning about why the National Guard should not be called out to deal with the rising crime in Baltimore. What say you?
I don't know, but I think it was a very incoherent answer. So I think that they must have given them the wrong deck of cards to read off of because it really didn't match up with what they're saying. But he's right. These people in these communities, you know what they want? They want to feel safe in their homes. And you and I know, sadly, in the Baltimore City region and surrounding counties, people are scared to death. They don't know what's going to happen next. They know that juvenile crime is through the roof. They know regular crime is through the roof, and they are afraid to leave their house. And unfortunately, some of them are stuck in their house. They're almost prisoners in their own neighborhoods.
Well, to your point, front page of the Baltimore Sun. Chris, if you can put this article up. Front page of the Baltimore Sun. People feel stuck in their homes, Brian, because they are afraid to leave their homes, and they can't sell their homes because the realtors are like, well, no one wants to buy your house because of the fact that you're in a community that's unsafe. The community was safe. And so Governor Wes Moore, Brian, is saying, and Chris put that up, there it is. And so meanwhile, Brian, Governor Wes Moore is saying, oh, but crime is down in Baltimore. What do you think about this?
Well, they've gone from 1.2 million people in Baltimore City down to less than 600,000.
Yeah, it's like 500,000 people live in Baltimore.
Over the last few decades. So I don't know who's left there. You have some people that are stuck in their house and can't leave. And then you have criminals that have pretty much overtaken the streets. And guess what criminals don't do? They don't turn other criminals in for a crime they committed against one another. Right. So it could be violent, but nobody knows. It's the old, if you remember Governor O'Malley, he said, no witness, no crime. I think that might be where we're back to now.
So podcast listeners, Governor Moore is like, no, what we're doing is working in Baltimore. Meanwhile, juvenile crime is through the roof. Look, we're talking about kids that are in middle school, Brian.
That's right.
Kids that are in high school, and they're engaging in gun violence. They're engaging in drag racing in the middle of the street. They're stealing. They're slashing and burning tires and breaking into cars. They're carjacking. They're doing whatever they can, of course, because there's no parent oversight. So how do we ever break this cycle, Brian? How?
Well, there's no accountability, and the governor doesn't seem to have an answer for the accountability. Accountability would be the Maryland National Guard, right? That's actually their chief responsibility, is to keep law and order, and then when we have emergencies, for them to show up. The governor is the commander-in-chief of them, but doesn't seem to understand that. And that's all we're asking for.
So, Brian, it seems like the governor of Maryland doesn't want to have any consequences for anyone that breaks the law, no matter what age they are. It's like, it should be consequence-free because this is his base.
That's right.
These are the people that vote for him. By these are the people, I mean the criminals. They actually, are like, oh, right, he's not going to lock me up, so I'm going to vote for him. Why would I ever vote for a Republican? And then he spends all of his time, the governor does, on national TV at all the networks, CNN, MSNBC, and even Fox, and rails against President Trump, who's actually trying to find a solution to make the people safer in their own cities.
Well, I will guess that this might be his last time on Fox, because Lawrence Jones tied him up for 9.5 minutes because he was the first guy to actually ask him some real questions. This isn't The View. We're not going to throw you softballs. We're going to ask you real questions and ask for a real answer. And I don't think Lawrence Jones got any really good answers out of him, other than I think performative must equal accountability, because he says he does not want performative. And God forbid you follow President Trump's example, which is working.
Yes, it is. It is. And that's the dumbest bill in America, or is it just the dumbest governor in America? I'm not really sure, Brian. We'll see you next time.